Hello, hello, hello. Happy Tuesday, everybody. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Stephanie McPhail. I specialize in helping successful women learn how to thrive after ending toxic relationships. So for today's topic, we're going to talk about Kim Kardashian. Love her or hate her, she is a great example of a successful woman who has been in some toxic relationships. I did a little bit of research and she is worth $1.8 billion. Yes, that's right. $1.8 billion is her net worth. So I was been paying attention. I don't know if any of you that are currently watching have been paying attention to what's been going on with her and Kanye West lately. But I realized that she's got a lot of similar issues that the clients that we work with are dealing with. So I wanted to kind of back up for a little bit. Now, again, I can't really say I'm a Kim Kardashian fan, but what's going on with her has so much to do with the type of clients that we work with every single day. It would be a disservice not to bring up what's going on in the news and what the reactions are amongst other people. So just as a little backup, for those of you who don't know much about Kim Kardashian and her whole background, she's basically famous for being famous. There's not really anything that she's been doing, but she seems to just do some good work with all the money that she has, but that's a whole other conversation. So she has already been married 3 times. She was married to Damon Thomas, and they got a divorce because of, she said, physical and emotional damage, which is why they got a divorce. She was married again to Chris Humphries, which didn't seem like there was too much going on. They lasted like 2 months actually being married, so that didn't last for very long. And then she was married to Kanye West, and that's the person that she just recently divorced. And of course, we know that there's some other things going on. So before we talk about what's happening with Kanye West and all of that, I want to talk a little bit more about her background. Kim Kardashian grew up in a very close-knit family. They interact together. They do a lot of things together. They're very close-knit, but with that also comes a lot of family secrets. So there was a lot of things that were going on that were big secrets that the family never let anybody else know. And so all of the kids kind of learned, like, let's take care of these things on our own. Let's stay within the family and take care of these issues in the family. Now, I bet you that I'm going to start saying some things that you're going to be like, oh my gosh, that resonates. I've dealt with something like that. So if anything resonates for you, please let me know in the comments when something resonates for you. Another thing that Kim Kardashian has is she is very religious. She was brought up very religious. She was actually brought up, she went to Catholic school and different religious schools. She was Presbyterian and Catholic, which I found kind of interesting because I was actually brought up Presbyterian and my mother was Catholic. So we were brought up to go to church every single weekend, to participate in church activities, and to have that kind of work ethic where we're very hard workers. Which is one of the things that she says is because of how religious they were, she was brought up to be a very hard worker. This is what she said. She is now Armenian Apostolic. Hopefully I'm saying it correctly, but religion is very important to her. Now, when we talk about religion, we know that most religions feel very strongly about someone being married to be in a romantic relationship with someone, if there's going to be a sexual relationship with someone. So she has basically gone from one unhealthy relationship right into another one. I looked at her history. There's not really a big time frame where she is by herself. She's pretty much consistently going right from one relationship directly into another relationship. Like I said before, she is a hard worker. She runs a bunch of businesses. She has a bunch of different things other than just her show that she has online, or her online presence, I should say. She also has some autoimmune issues. She's got health issues, psoriasis. They were looking at the possibility of her having perhaps lupus. So she's dealing with autoimmune issues. Now, autoimmune issues are really closely related to also dealing with high levels of stress. And of course, toxic relationships are going to be highly related to causing more stress, which causes inflammation, and inflammation causes disease in our body. So that's another thing that she is dealing with. Now, because she is someone that goes from one relationship right into another one, she doesn't take time to really work on herself. The times that she's by herself, she's still out there really looking for other people to date. So she's never really taking the time to really focus on herself and be really happy with herself and figure out what it is she really wants in a relationship. She is 41 years old, and basically in the past 20 years, she's just been going right from relationship to relationship. So who we are at 41 versus who we are when we were teenagers is not fully developed. And if we just go from one relationship to another one, we tend to become more of what our significant other wants instead of being really strong and knowing who we are. And so that's an issue that we see come up a lot with clients is they go from one relationship to another one, and they a lot of them never knew who they really were. And if they did, they lose themselves along the way, because in toxic relationships, we tend to try to fix and deal with whatever the person we're in a relationship with wants from us. So we're not able to really be fully ourselves. Now, if you've been paying attention to the news lately, there's a lot of this discussion about her now. She was with Kanye West. They just officially got divorced just a few weeks ago. And she's been dating, so she went right into another relationship with Pete Davidson. And then there's all this conversation about Pete Davidson, and, you know, he's so different and funny, and he's just a good laid back guy for what Kim has dealt with. But what we're seeing now from Kanye is something that happens a lot with these types of toxic relationships. He is, and because with more money comes more power, so he's able to make a much bigger impact than maybe some of the toxic relationships that we've experienced. So where for us, we might be successful in our jobs and our careers, things like that, and not be successful in relationships. What we're dealing with this toxic ex is, you know, the harassment of him coming by our house, of him calling our work, of him giving us a hard time, cursing at us, screaming at us, threatening us, all that kind of stuff. But it's a little bit more in this closed environment. And a lot of people might not even know that we're dealing with it. In this situation, Kanye West is going out of his way to make it a public issue. So he's been text messaging Pete Davidson. He has been making videos about showing examples of basically him murdering Pete Davidson. He is harassing both Kim and Pete, threatening their safety. I mean, things have gotten too far. And a lot of the times in the media, until just recently, people have just been like, oh, Kanye, he's hurt, he's upset. But they've been kind of letting him get away with it, which is what we see a lot, right? We start to question ourselves because we're like, oh my gosh, what's wrong with me that other people are seeing what they're doing to me and no one's doing anything about it? And in this situation, when we have someone like Kim Kardashian, who's a billionaire, and she's being harassed and no one was doing anything about it, we're seeing this on a bigger scale. Now, Kanye West right now is not allowed to perform at, is it the Emmys? He's not allowed to perform at. They're taking, some of his performances are being thrown out the window because they're not wanting to associate with what his behavior is like. We're seeing Kanye West start to kind of go off the deep end, and we have been for years. So before even any of this happened with him harassing and threatening and all of this, she was dealing with a lot of his mental health issues, where when you're rich and famous, there's a lot of people telling you what you want to hear, not anybody really sharing what needs to be done to work on the issues that are happening for you. And that's what was happening with Kanye. And Kim kept saying, hey, something's not right, you need to get help. But the people around him were like, no, you don't need to get help, you're fine. And he didn't want to take responsibility for it. Sound like any narcissist that any of us might know? If someone like Kim Kardashian can be in a toxic relationship, why do any of us think that it's not possible for us? If someone like Kim Kardashian, because again, successful women, we think we can figure it out. Kim for years has been trying to figure it out on her own and has not been having success. Her friends, her family have been actually going out and like listening to her and trying to support her and do all these things, but they're not professionals in healing from toxic relationships. So she is relying on the wrong people to help her when she could be relying on experts. So people like us, the normal person who's dealing with toxic relationships, we're talking to our friends. For those of us who still have that good friend network, we might be talking to friends, might be talking to our family, but that's not the type of support that we need to be able to get ourselves out of these toxic relationships. So if someone as strong and powerful as Kim Kardashian can get stuck, so can we. If someone can be as powerful as Kim Kardashian and not have people believe how bad things are, so can we. So the good news is is that you don't have to stay stuck like this. You don't have to keep repeating the same patterns over and over again. There are tweaks that we can do to help you stop this cycle so that you don't waste any more time. You don't need to try to listen to advice from family or friends that might be well-meaning, but not really know exactly what you need in order to heal. So stop trying to reach out to the wrong people, start reaching out to the right people, get the support you need, and protect yourself. And if you have children involved like Kim Kardashian is, you want to make sure that you're also protecting your children from someone who is a narcissist, who is trying to hurt you, who is trying to take advantage of you. Because for a while, her and Pete were being really nice about it. And those narcissists, they love to take advantage of us being nice. We think we're trying to keep there from being an issue, but instead, we're allowing the issues to get even bigger. We're allowing them to think that they have the upper hand, that they have the power, and they're going to keep poking and poking until we push hard enough to make sure that we stop them trying to intervene with our lives. So we can help you when you are ready to stop the cycle of toxic relationships and end them for good. And hey, Kim Kardashian, if you're watching this, we can definitely help you as well. There is no reason to keep trying to figure this out on your own. We are smart, we are powerful, we are independent, but we don't have to be perfect and good at everything. It's okay to not know the right answers, because when we're in it, we can't read the label from inside the bottle. It takes expert support from the outside to really help band together, create your team so that you can stop this cycle for good and start really creating your best life. Hope this was helpful to everybody. Please make sure that you're commenting in the comments, whatever your thoughts. I'd love to hear your thoughts about this as well. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you in the group. Bye, everybody.